The healthcare battle continues in Washington. Who's speaking out in favor of the GOP Senate bill? Just ahead. Then, an investigation into a woman's mysterious death. Why investigators say it's unclear how she died. And get ready for a new experience at the Kennedy Space Center. A look at a new attraction, the Summer of Mars.
From News 13, the morning's first news. Traffic and weather together. This is your morning news, Weather Now.
And good morning. The time now is 5 o'clock. I'm David Bodden in for Beth Bruce-Wall this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get your day started right away with your weather and traffic together. Real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper will tell you about some trouble on I-4 in just a moment. But first, we head over to meteorologist Maureen McCann. And good morning, Maureen.
Hey, David. Good morning. Quiet start to our Monday, but it is warm and muggy out there. We'll get into a better chance for rain later on today, so this view may be at times stormy. The FBC Mortgage Weather Cam, it is pointed off to the west. Now there's the east view, 74 degrees. Winds are out of the southeast. Storm Tracker 13 has some thunderstorms off the Gulf Coast this morning, so maybe if you're in Marion or Sumter counties, you may see some lightning off in the distance, but those areas of rain are still out over the water. They're not really moving too much either. Visibility, not a concern this morning. There may be some pockets of fog as we approach daybreak, so I'll keep an eye on that. But really the bigger story is the warmth. Leesburg is still at 80 degrees. And in Sanford, 78, same with Kissimmee. So a warm start to our Monday. This afternoon, we'll still manage to get into the 90s in many neighborhoods, but we have a better chance for late day storms. More on that at 5:11. Right now, it's over to Ryan Harper. He has our first check of real-time traffic for our Monday morning. Sounds like we have some concerns on I-4.
We do, Mo. We're still tracking the remains of a crash along I-4 westbound near Florida's Turnpike, placing that very close to the Millennia area. And you can see it's still active here looking at this camera. You can see the flashing lights near the top right-hand corner of your screen. About 30 minutes ago, the roadway was completely shut down on that westbound side, and all traffic was being forced off at Conroy Road. You can see that's no longer the case, but two left lanes remain blocked in the area. You do use some caution, but I'm not really seeing a significant impact throughout the area there as a result. Did want to show you another camera we have, or we did have actually. It's going to be I-4 right in the heart of downtown Orlando. As it stands right now, that westbound off-ramp to Anderson Street is currently closed. So you do have some options, including exiting maybe at Colonial Drive or Ivanhoe Boulevard up to the north here in this specific area. And from there, you can maybe take Huey Avenue south towards Anderson Street if that's where your travels are taking you this morning. Hopefully that will be reopening relatively soon. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Thank you, Ryan. President Donald Trump's campaign promise to repeal and replace Obamacare is hitting some roadblocks. Republicans are now split on the new legislation, but now the Health and Human Services Secretary is coming to its defense.
We want to make certain that health care is available to all Americans.
Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price defended the GOP Senate health care bill Sunday, trying to assure the American people that the bill will not cause people to lose their health insurance.
The plan that we would put in place would not allow individuals to fall through the cracks, we would not pull the rug out from under anybody, we would not have individuals lose coverage that they want for themselves and for their family.
The legislation, after its big reveal last week, has caused a split in the GOP party. 5 Senate Republicans have publicly opposed the bill in its current form, including Dean Heller of Nevada.
The biggest lie in healthcare in the last 10 years was if you like your doctor, you can keep him. Second biggest lie is your premiums are going down. And there isn't anything in this piece of legislation that will lower your premiums.
Price countered that argument by saying the bill is only one part of the Republicans' broader health care plan.
The plan in its entirety will absolutely bring premiums down because you increase competition, you increase choices for individuals, you allow folks to be able to purchase the kind of coverage that they want, not that the government forces them to buy.
Senate Republicans cannot afford to lose support from more than 2 of their members if the bill is to pass. The vote may happen as early as this week. We now know the name of a woman who was found dead near some railroad tracks in Apopka. Deputies found the body of 28-year-old Tina Pocasangre Lopez around 4:30 Sunday morning along East 13th Street. Now, at this point, it's still unclear how she died. Investigators say that they saw no signs of trauma on her body, and an autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. Daytona Beach police arrest a man who they say stole a boat that ended up slamming into a local beach. Beach safety officials say that the boat was discovered just after 11 o'clock Saturday morning near the Silver Beach approach. Viewers sent us these pictures. Now, police arrested Jonathan Race after the incident. He faces 2 burglary charges and a charge of grand theft. Today, this man, who investigators say shot a nurse at a Marion County hospital, will face a judge. 38-year-old Jason Gignac is being charged with resisting without violence. FHP spotted Gignac walking along I-75 back on June 17th. Now, he told troopers that he felt sick, so they took him to West Marion Community Hospital. After being treated, troopers say that they tried to take him into custody, and then a struggle began, and investigators say Gignac fired a shot from an FHP gun. Now, that bullet hit a nurse in the leg. The British government is urging officials across the country to submit samples of cladding from high-rise buildings. Now, this comes after a fire engulfed Grenfell Tower in London earlier this month, killing at least 79 people. So far, at least 34 samples from different buildings failed fire safety standards. A public inquiry has also been ordered to determine how the unsafe cladding was ever allowed to be fitted in the first place. The nation's largest active wildfire continues to move quickly in southern Utah. The Brian Head Fire has now burned about 42,000 acres. Nearly 1,000 fire crew members and at least 10 helicopters are battling that blaze. It's only 8% contained. The fire started more than a week ago, forcing hundreds of people to evacuate.
We've had a lot of calls from the public asking about what the fire is doing in the area, and it's still very, very active, if you might have witnessed with the plume column. We're looking at another change in weather patterns, so a shift in winds, bringing some erratic winds with it, so tactics are changing accordingly.
That's just one of the several large fires burning out west. This is another wildfire that shut down a busy freeway in Santa Clarita, California.
3, 2, 1, liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Destination Space, and the destination today is Mars. A new, fully immersive experience to make it feel like you're on the surface of the red planet officially opens today at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. News 13's Jerry Hume joins us now live from the Visitor Complex this morning. And Jerry, this is all a part of the Lockheed Martin Mars Experience Bus.
And David, this bus has traveled to 12 cities, 33 stops across the country, and it's no ordinary bus. When you step inside, you feel like you're on the surface of the red planet. 200 square miles of Martian landscape are replicated with some virtual reality technology. Joining us live now is Rebecca Shireman. She's with the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. And Rebecca, the whole goal here is to inspire the next generation of explorers, some explorers that may even one day go to the real red planet.
That's right. We want to inspire the next generation of space explorers, and the Mars Experience Bus is a great way to do that. It uses real NASA imagery, and you go on a virtual drive on Mars. This is all part of the Summer of Mars here at the Visitor Complex. So what else do you have in store for that next generation of explorers? Well, this summer we're offering free admission for those next generation of explorers. 5th grade students get free admission, and we also have special shows, experiences, and special appearances by subject matter experts. Very cool. Thank you, Rebecca. Want to let you know that the bus here going to officially open today. In our next half hour, next hour rather, we're going to go on board to show you what it's like on the red planet. It's going to be here for the next 3 months. Reporting live here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, Jerry Hume, News 13.
Thanks, Jerry. In other news, a SpaceX rocket lifts off from California in the second of 2 launches over the weekend.
3, 2, 1. Liftoff, the Falcon 9.
The Falcon 9 rocket blasted off at 4:25 Eastern Time Sunday afternoon. It carried 10 communication satellites into orbit. SpaceX also landed the first stage booster on a vessel in the Pacific after the launch. Now, on Friday, a Falcon 9 successfully launched from Cape Canaveral. It carried a communication satellite from Bulgaria into orbit. Many months after Hurricane Matthew hit the coast of Florida, loved ones are still looking for their personalized planks that covered parts of the Flagler Beach Pier. Now, some of the planks have been in Linda Jones's garage for nearly 9 months. She had some luck finding some of their owners, but needs help locating the last 3.
I don't really want to get rid of them, but I want them to go to whoever originally had them engraved. I'm sure they would enjoy having them.
Now, if you believe the planks that Jones has belong to you or someone you may know, she's set up a Facebook page so that you can check out the pictures and message her directly. You can find that link on our webpage at mynews13.com. And your time right now is 5:10. Coming up on 5:11, let's turn it over to Ryan Harper with a look at your morning commute. Good morning, Ryan.
Thank you, David. Good morning to you. And we are still dealing with a crash along I-4, traveling westbound now, past, or at least approaching Florida's Turnpike, I should say. You can see it on the top right-hand corner of your screen. A couple of left lanes remain blocked. Traffic is still moving throughout the area just fine, so that's the good news we can take away from that specific scene there. Also want to take you to downtown Orlando, or you can see on the right side of your screen, that's actually going to be the westbound exit to Anderson Street, which is clearly currently closed, plus the right lane is blocked in the area there as well. For the meantime, if you're trying to exit off onto Anderson Street, again, you will not be able to do so right now, but you can simply take the exit before that, which is Ivanhoe Boulevard, which leads you to Colonial Drive, and from there you can actually take Huey Avenue all the way south to Anderson Street if that's what you need to do. Tracking a new wreck as well on the Beach Line traveling westbound. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, plus incident on I-95 causing some issues. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford. Over to our weather center now with meteorologist Maureen McKenna. Mo, it was a really hot weekend out there. Can we expect more of the same today?
Yeah, it's going to be hot with more thunderstorms, so more places will get cooled off during the afternoon and a little bit earlier, because on Saturday and Sunday the onset of thunderstorms was much later in the evening, but everything quieted down during the overnight hours. FBC Mortgage weather cam looks pretty good off to the west. 74 degrees, winds are out of the southeast, fog not an issue here in the metro area. Really, it's the warmth. When you walk outside, you're going to feel it. In Leesburg, 80 degrees, and the sun hasn't even come up yet. Upper 70s for Kissimmee and Melbourne, Daytona Beach at 77, so a very humid morning on our hands. And with very limited sun coming through, we'll see temperatures warm very quickly to the middle 80s by lunchtime, 92 degrees by 2 o'clock, but that's when thunderstorms will fill in, and some of them may contain some heavy rain. Now, this morning, there's a little bit of rain out there. It's mostly out over the water in the Gulf of Mexico, but you may see some of that from afar, some of that lightning. Everywhere else, things are dry to begin your Monday morning along the I-4 corridor. But this high-resolution model is fairly optimistic that even before lunchtime, we could see some spotty areas of rain. There's just more moisture content available in the atmosphere today, and some forcing due to a weak front off to the north of us. So combine that and the increased moisture, it will make it easier for showers and thunderstorms to get going. And a lot of them will initiate over inland areas, but then with the east coast sea breeze pushing on shore, that will allow some of the storms close to I-95 to strengthen. Storm motion will be very slow once again, so we do need to be on guard for maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain, if not more. And places that had heavy rain over the weekend, if you get that again, that could lead to some flooding in the poor drainage areas, so we got to watch for that later. 92 degrees will feel even hotter with the humidity factored in. There will be limited sun early, but for the afternoon, a lot of clouds, followed by evening thunderstorms tonight. They will fade, followed by another round tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow's rain chance is a little bit higher as temperatures hover around 90 degrees. Your 7-day forecast coming up next, planning ahead through the rest of the week and looking at those rain chances into next weekend, coming up in less than 10 minutes, David. All
righty. Thank you so much, Maureen. Takata's future is in jeopardy. What the troubled airbag manufacturer plans to do now, coming up. You're watching News 13.
Love it, hate it, or just...
Travel Forecast is brought to you by One Stop Cooling and Heating. The one-stop difference. It only takes one.
Hi, I'm Betsy for Orlando Hyundai. It's our 4th of July celebration event. Save up to $10,000 off new Hyundais and get 0% APR for 72 months. Hurry now, only at Orlando's #1 volume dealer. Visit OrlandoHyundai.com.
Take back back your evenings with your evening news on News 13 and get news and weather on your schedule.
We're learning new details.
Get up to speed on the day's top stories.
I want to give you a live look.
Find out what's happening in your neighborhood.
Now check this out.
And see how tomorrow is shaping up with your weather on the One's forecast.
All of this is out of here before sunrise.
Get the news that's ready anytime you are.
We'll keep you updated.
Take back your evenings with your evening news on News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
At the Trial Professionals, we protect car accident victims every day. We fight hard to protect our clients and their families.
When I got into an accident, I was out of work for about a week, and they reimbursed me for everything. They helped me out, and they also made sure that I was taken care of. You know, I felt very good about everything, and I was able to, continue my life like actually nothing happened.
If you've been injured, let our team of experienced trial professionals help you and your family. Call 1-800-TRIAL-PRO.
Jim waited his whole life to buy this car, and thanks to Orlando Federal Credit Union, his dream came true. You see, the dealership made it easy to drive away in the car he wanted, but the financing, not so great. Orlando Federal Credit Union helped Jim refinance his car, and for $50 less a month. So now Jim has a little extra gas money to take his best girl out for a joyride. Apply today. Orlando Federal Credit Union, because you're more than just money to us.
Betsy for Orlando Hyundai. It's our 4th of July celebration event. Save up to $10,000 off new Hyundais and get 0% APR for 72 months. Hurry now, only at Orlando's #1 volume dealer. Visit OrlandoHyundai.com.
News 13 is brought to you by Budget You Pull It. Save money on used auto parts at budgetyoupullit.com.
Trial Pro. Don't just hire an attorney, hire a trial professional.
Takata is expected to file for bankruptcy protection this week. Last month, automakers reached a preliminary settlement to compensate owners of vehicles that have Takata's recalled airbags. Now, the airbags are blamed for at least 16 deaths, including one right here in Orlando, and 180 injuries worldwide. The company says the cost of the airbag crisis put it under. Most of the company's assets will be sold to a rival company for $1.6 billion. St. Pete's Pride Weekend wrapped up with a festival that took over downtown, and organizers say it might be their biggest one yet. While there's no final tally, an estimated 50,000 people attended Sunday's Pride Festival. It was a time for the LGBTQ community to celebrate, with plenty of support from friends and local businesses. The festival drew over people from all over, and the shops across the state as well.
People want to show, hey, we're part of the community, we're a big part of the community, we're a big part of the world. So treat us like we belong in the world.
The festival was the final formal event of the St. Pete's Pride Month. Pride celebrations took place around the world over the weekend. Crowds in New York City gathered in Manhattan to celebrate equality. They marched down Fifth Avenue with their signs, and this was the scene in Toronto. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also took part. He made history last year, being the first Prime Minister to participate in a Pride event. Meanwhile, hundreds of people filled the streets of Chicago. Some marched with signs as others watched the parade from the sidelines. The first Pride Parade was held in 1970, 1 year after the violent Stonewall riots. Today marks the last day of the Supreme Court session before justices head off to summer break. What big talking points are on their agenda coming up? And are people suffering from mental health disorders being prescribed too many painkillers? Coming up next, how researchers are finding a new link to the opioid epidemic. And now it's time to turn things over to weather. Maureen, we saw some rain this weekend. I heard some storms late last night. Are we expecting any severe weather today?
There will be another round of thunderstorms, Dave, and some of them could be strong. Heavy rain is going to be the biggest threat, though. I'll explain coming up in your weather on the Ones.
Love it, hate it, or just whoa. Connect with News 13 on Facebook.
We understand the value of hard work. We know great things don't happen overnight. We believe the greatest achievements are the ones you earn. With every appointment, every call, every mile. We get up earlier. We work harder. Because connecting you to what matters, matters to us. That's who we are. Spectrum, redefining what a cable company can be.
All across America, more people are choosing Nissan. It's America's best sales event at Nissan, the fastest growing auto brand in the USA. Take on every day and get a low $199 per month lease on the 2017 Rogue, or save up to $10,760 on select models. Get to your local Nissan dealer today.
At Fields, we're known for our complimentary loaners. Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and now you can take a loaner home and keep it.
It's Fields' first ever loaner sales event.
Every current low-mileage, hand-picked, and pampered loaner will be sold or leased for less, like this.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 to 72 months on every BMW loaner in stock.
Fields' first ever loaner sales event. But hurry, this is a limited time offer.
See Fields first for BMW. Go to fieldsbmw.com.
Stay on top of what's happening in your neighborhood.
An update now for you coming into the News 13 newsroom.
Follow News 13 on Twitter. Your accurate weather experts forecast with Storm Tracker 13.
Hi everyone, 21 past the hour. I'm meteorologist Maureen McCann. Starting out warm and muggy for our Monday morning, but plan on an unsettled afternoon with showers and thunderstorms becoming more numerous. And boaters, that will impact you, especially for the inland lakes. Later on in the day, storm motion will be back over to the east coast, and that will impact the beaches. So make sure you have News 13 Plus on your phone if you did want to venture out today. That goes for anything you're doing outside, not just being out on the boat. We have plenty of moisture available to fuel our showers and thunderstorms. You know that by turning to the water vapor loop. And there's this ribbon of moisture off to the north of us with a decaying cold front that is going to contribute to our rain chances for today. Even before lunchtime, there may be some spotty showers around, but the better chance will be during the afternoon. If anyone gets any sun for the first part of the day, it would be quite limited. The better chance will be during the afternoon for showers and thunderstorms to flare up, and some of them may contain some very heavy rainfall. They'd be slow moving, so 1 to 2 inches not out of the question, very much like what we had over the weekend with the sea breeze collisions taking shape, and that enabled thunderstorms to develop later on in the day and into the evening hours. Slow moving with heavy rain, and these ones would be no different, especially around the evening commute. The I-95 corridor, I-4 to the north of Orlando, could be pretty active out there with some stronger cells, but everything will diminish with the loss of daytime heating. Time for your county by county forecast, which we always bring you here at 21 past the hour. And our temperatures are still going to be hot despite the clouds and the threat of rain, and it will feel even hotter than these readings because of the humidity factored in. So you'll be around 90 or so across Brevard County, likewise in Osceola County, where lower 90s will be on hand, but you may be cooled off by showers and storms later on in the day. In Seminole County, good chance for late day rain. You'll be at or above 90, and some low 90s on the way. Astor, Eustis, and Claremont in Marion Lake and Sumter counties. Last stop brings us back to Orange County, where we'll be in the lower 90s once again. Rain chances in the 60 to 70% range, or even up to 80% by tomorrow. For much of this week, it's going to be an unsettled week, a lot of cloud cover, afternoon rain, and very muggy conditions too. We really don't see any drastic changes in this through the remainder of the week. So you want to get out early to do things outside, because the better chance for rain will be during the afternoon and early evening hours. Overnight lows will be very consistent this week. ranging in the middle 70s. Here's a quick check of your pollen forecast. The rain keeping levels low for the next couple of days. We'll head over to Ryan now for traffic. I'll be back in less than 10 minutes, and we'll get a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Monday morning, 5:24 your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. Wanted to give you a quick update. We were telling you earlier that the I-4 westbound off-ramp to Anderson Street was closed, plus a right lane in the area was blocked. That is no longer the case. Just in the last few minutes, they've reopened that exit ramp, plus they've reopened that right lane up there as well. So good news coming from the heart of downtown Orlando. Good update there. Still dealing with the crash in I-4 westbound. Looks like it continues to clear out, though, near Florida's Turnpike. Earlier, there were a couple of left lanes blocked. Looks like even those might be back open again, so everything appears to be up to speed for right now in that specific area, which again is good news. We've been tracking a wreck for you along the beach line westbound, a couple of miles past State Road 520. Earlier there was a right lane block. We had a little bit of a delay in the area. Looks like that has been moved off to the right shoulder, so I'm not really seeing a significant impact as it stands right now. And also dealing with some more road work along the beach line. Right lane remains blocked on the eastbound side between I-4 and International Drive, and then a westbound left lane blocked near International Drive as well. But again, this is an area I'm not really seeing a significant delay. The overall volume should be light. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Recent studies show a link between higher rates of opioid use and mental health disorders. Doctors say people who suffer from depression or anxiety are consuming too many prescription painkillers. Researchers found that nearly 19% of people with those two most common mental health disorders received at least 2 prescriptions for opioids during a year. And more than half of the prescriptions were highly addictive painkillers. Experts say people suffering from a mental health disorder may report a pain a lot different than those without a disorder. As a result, doctors may tend to overprescribe opioid painkillers. The study was published in the Journal for the American Board of Family Medicine. At the box office, good news and bad news for the latest Transformers movie. It snagged the #1 spot this weekend. Transformers: The Last Knight grossed $45.3 million, a huge jump from its competitors, but it's the lowest debut weekend ever for the Transformers franchise. And it's a tie for second place this week. Cars 3 made an estimated $25.2 million in its opening weekend, and Wonder Woman stays in the top 3. The first superhero film led by a woman also brought in an estimated $25.2 million. Remember, you can keep track of all of this summer's biggest hits with our box office scorecard. Just head over to mynews13.com/filmbuff. Just ahead on News 13, a boat sinks in Colombia with 150 people on board. We're following the search for survivors. Then, one part of Claremont is rapidly growing, but it's creating trouble on the roads, where neighbors say they want to see changes. You're watching News 13, available only on Spectrum.
When you're on the go, watch News 13 anywhere with the Spectrum TV app. Download now and watch News 13 instantly on your device.
It's the Summer Sell-a-thon at Greenway Ford. New 2017 Ford F-150s are discounted up to $12,500 off MSRP. Get up to 120% of KBB fair market value for any trade. Only at Greenway Ford. Visit greenwayford.com.
What sets Van Ganaway Chevrolet apart from the competition is the Van Ganaway Chevrolet buying experience. Come in and experience shopping the most competitive prices. Experience being in control of your vehicle purchase. Experience a professional sales staff and a service team that's got your back. Choose Van Ganaway Chevrolet for your next buying experience, where the only thing better than our price is the buying experience itself.
Van Ganaway! Van Ganaway Chevrolet, Highway 441, Eustis.
My name is Richie Kidwell, president of Air Quality Assessors of Florida. Do you know what's lurking behind your walls?
Whether you're dealing with a sewer backup, roof leak, visible signs of mold, or a pipe burst, the professionals at Air Quality Assessors offer indoor air quality testing and consultation services throughout Florida. We can bill direct to your insurance provider with no out-of-pocket expense to you. Water damage or mold? Call Air Quality Assessors today. We offer competitive rates and can bill direct to your insurance provider.
All right, Natasha, this next commercial can't be this tough. Why don't we talk about that case where 3 other law firms turned it down, and what, you got $2 million for the client?
Okay, but how do we say that without being cheesy?
How about this?
Oh, heck no, I am not that guy.
What if we talk about those motorcycle cases you handle?
Okay, I like that, but how'd you get that in here? All right, you know what? I think we got it. So if you're involved in a car or motorcycle accident, call the Overchuck Law Firm. We care enough to come to you.
It's the summer sell-a-thon at Greenway Ford. New 2017 Fusions are discounted up to $8,500 off MSRP. Have a trade? Get up to 120% of KBB fair market value for any trade. Only at Greenway Ford. Visit greenwayford.com.
For news and weather at your fingertips, go to mynews13.com. More news, less clutter, exclusively from Spectrum.
The search is on for survivors after a boat carrying 150 people sinks in Colombia. This morning, we're seeing eyewitness accounts of the rescue. Then this man could be locked up for decades today. What prosecutors say he did to his boyfriend that landed him in prison. And growth in Lake County leads to some trouble on the roads. What people in Claremont want to see done to keep them safe.
From News 13, the morning's first news. Traffic and weather together. This is your morning news, Weather Now.
Good morning. The time right now is 5:31. I'm David Bodden, in for Beth Brusois this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get your day started right away with your weather and traffic together. Real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper will be giving us a look at the roads in just a moment. But first, we start off with meteorologist Maureen McCann, who's outside our studios. Good morning, Maureen.
Hey, David, thanks and good morning. A very humid start to the day here in downtown Orlando, but visibility is good. Got enough of a breeze to prevent that fog from forming, and there's no rain to interfere with your morning commute by the looks of Storm Tracker 13 right now. However, that will change later on. So when you leave the house this morning, you will want to bring that rain gear. And even this morning, if you're heading over to the Gulf Coast, there are some showers right along the coastline, so perhaps in and around the Tampa area, a slightly better chance for experiencing some rain this morning. The other feature to the start of our Monday morning is the warmth. We have mid to upper 70s, even 80 degrees in Leesburg, and we're still about an hour from the sun coming up. Looking ahead to today, it's 31 past, so we always focus on your surf conditions at this time. Poor overall with wave heights around 1 to 2 feet. UV index at 12, despite the fact that we're still going to have a lot of clouds today and that threat of afternoon rain, which I'll talk about again when I'm back inside coming up at 5:41. Right now, let's send things back inside to Ryan. He's keeping an eye on the roads with real-time traffic. And Ryan, weather shouldn't be an issue for the morning commute. How are things looking on the roads otherwise?
Yeah, it looks nice and dry out there, Mo. Good morning here at 5:32. Taking a look outside, we've been tracking this area since the morning started, really. I-4 traveling westbound near Florida's Turnpike. Just wanted to give you a quick update that all of your lanes are back open again. At one point during the 4 o'clock hour, I-4 was completely shut down and traffic was being forced off at Conway Road. As you can clearly see here, that is no longer the case. So good news coming from that specific zone in that area. Still tracking a wreck along the beach line, but a little bit of good news. No lanes are blocked any longer in this area. About 2 miles west of State Road 520, placing that in East Orange County. There's still a shoulder block, though. Use some extra caution, but not really seeing a slowdown as of right now. Also, still some road work wrapping up on the beach line, specifically the eastbound side between I-4 and International Drive. There is a lane block there, but again, the overall volume is still going to be too light this time of the morning for even one lane in this area to really affect things, but do use some extra caution. Should be a lot of cones and some construction work out there as well. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
A tourist boat in Colombia suddenly sinks, leaving at least 6 people dead this morning, and the search for rescue efforts for dozens more are still ongoing. News 13's web anchor Caitlin Jones joins us now from the studio. And Caitlin, you've got video and images from that scene that started spreading online.
That's right. This was actually very close to land where this happened, so a lot of people were able to capture images and videos like this one, where you first see that boat tip over to its side, back and forth, and then eventually eventually, very quickly, sink. Now, this happened with 170 people on board in Guadape, Colombia. That's just outside of Medellin, when the boat began taking on water and then eventually started swaying from side to side, as you can see in this video, and then just eventually started going underwater. This person posting on Twitter, Louisa Murphy, she says it's without the doubt the most horrific scene she's ever witnessed in her life. And as you can see, dozens of people started rushing to the boat to try and help. People in boats, people in jet skis with their own personal boats, just trying to get people out of the water. But eventually 6 people were confirmed dead. 31 people are still missing, and the search and rescue efforts actually had to be called off temporarily overnight because of storms in the area. Now, some people on the boat have said that there were no life jackets on board, so that's something that they'll be eventually looking into. Colombia's President Juan Manuel Santos, he visited the area. He flew there and he posted on Twitter, "We regret the deaths caused by the wreck of Guadape. Our solidarity with all relatives, accompany them in their pain." And he says that they will continue the search and rescue efforts at the first sign of daylight today. So as the morning comes, we'll be keeping you updated on what's going on with that search throughout the day. And I'll have an update in the next hour for you. In the Webb Center, I'm Caitlin Jones.
Convicted killer Zachary Berry will learn his fate today. Earlier this year, a jury convicted Berry of second-degree murder in the death of his boyfriend, Richard Keppel, back in 2015. Authorities believe Berry killed Keppel over money and drugs. Now, Berry was 17 when the murder happened, but he was charged as an adult. He faces decades behind bars when he's sentenced today. Jury selection starts today for the former drug company CEO, known as the most hated man in America. Martin Shkreli is known for hiking up the price of an AIDS and cancer treatment by 5,000% in 2015. He's accused of illegally transferring money from one of his companies to another to pay off debts. Shkreli was arrested in New York and charged back in December of 2015. Today is the last day of the current Supreme Court session. That means cases the justices don't rule on by the end of the day will have to wait until after the summer break. Now, the biggest item on the agenda is the Trump administration's proposed travel ban, which would block travel from 6 Muslim-majority countries. We'll be keeping an eye on the High Court today, and we will let you know what happens. At least 153 people are dead and dozens more seriously hurt after an oil tanker truck exploded in Pakistan. The tanker apparently went off the road and overturned. Then villagers rushed to the scene to collect the leaking oil. That's when the truck burst into flames. Authorities are still investigating that accident. And many Muslims in Central Florida came out to celebrate the end of Ramadan. More than 6,000 Muslims gathered at the Eid in Orlando Sunday. During Ramadan, Muslims fast between sunrise and sundown to perform acts of charity for their neighbors and the community.
We prayed, we asked for forgiveness, we became more God conscious, we helped the needy, we fed the hungry, we did lots of good activities to get closer to God, to earn His blessings.
There are more than 1.6 billion Muslims across the globe. More than 60,000 live right here in Orlando. In this week's Traffic Inbox, our real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper made his way over to a rapidly expanding area in Lake County. Now, that's where the infrastructure might not be ready for that rapid growth. All right, Ryan?
That's right, David. I went to the Claremont area because Rudy wrote into us this week saying, quote, "I'd really like you to take a look at Hartwood Marsh Road. The road isn't wide enough, and usually during the morning and afternoon hours and sometimes on the weekends, the traffic is a disaster. Is any help coming?" End quote. So upon reading that, we sought out what the conditions look like now and what may be coming next.
Hartwood Marsh Road runs through both Orange and Lake counties, but it's the Lake County side that we were asked to take a look at. Our first impressions were that it was indeed a very narrow road for the amount of traffic, but the overall congestion, at least during the late morning hours, wasn't all that bad. However, there were signs everywhere that residents are fed up with the amount of congestion during peak times. Take, for example, the Heartwood Pines community near Hancock Road. One resident who wished not to appear on camera directed us to one of the entrance gates that led to Heartwood Marsh Road. It's been completely closed off. According to the resident, traffic gets so bad on Heartwood Marsh Road that cars would use the community as a cut-through just to avoid traveling any further on the road. We also noticed that this road will not be able to handle the amount of congestion that is in store for the area. We counted at least 4 new home communities that are under construction just along Heartwood Marsh Road itself within a span of about a mile.
So what's next for this stretch of Heartwood Marsh Road? Well, as of right now, officials have only made minor changes, including putting in signage and a crosswalk here in front of the South Lake Imagine School here. A traffic signal was also installed at the intersection of Hancock Road, but officials also have bigger things in mind for the area.
Lake County also told us that this road has been on their radar back as far as 2004, with a widening project that was approved in 2010. However, we were also told that funding has not been appropriated yet for right-of-way acquisition or the construction itself.
And thanks for your question, Rudy. And if you at home have a traffic issue or problem that you want answered, go to mynews13.com/traffic inbox and just fill out the simple form. David?
Well, Ryan, that's not going to be an easy fix for those folks. What kind of traffic problems are we seeing out there on the roads for us this morning?
Well, as of right now, David, looks pretty clear out there for the most part along your major roadways. You can see a lot of green still remaining across our screen. So that includes the entire I-4 corridor all the way from Seminole County to downtown Orlando. Attractions area looking great out there as well. In terms of accidents, we have one that's wrapping up, but not really a factor today along the beach line traveling westbound, about 2 miles west of State Road 520. That's in East Orange County, the far reaches of Eastern Orange County, I should say. And for right now, everything is up to speed, so that's not a concern through there. Still some construction that needs to wrap up along the beach line today, specifically on the eastbound side between I-4 and International Drive. There's going to be a right lane blocked in that stretch for about a mile. But again, if you're merging from I-4 into the beach line, just use some extra caution. And for right now, there are no delays as a result of that construction in the area. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford. Over to our weather center now with meteorologist Marie McCann. And Mo, what kind of temperatures are we going to be dealing with today, especially as the day starts to get rolling on?
We're going to be rising into the upper 80s and low 90s later on, Ryan, but starting out, we're already warm. We're close to 80 in some neighborhoods, and the sun will be up within an hour, so from there forward, temperatures should warm pretty quickly. This is the FBC Mortgage weather cam. Decent visibility, fog not obstructing the views this morning. We're in the middle 70s with winds out of the southeast, but upper 70s are common along the Brevard County coast from Melbourne north, and you can tell in Daytona Beach, 77 degrees. Sanford also in the upper 70s right now. And today you'll climb close to 90 degrees, but there will be a fair amount of cloud cover, and the risk of showers and thunderstorms will play a role in the afternoon. A greater chance of rain today compared to over the weekend when the development of storms wasn't until late in the day due to the sea breeze collision. We just have more moisture available that will give us more coverage of our late day storms. Road hazards really non-existent locally. There are some showers close to Tampa and especially off the coast, so you may see some lightning off in the distance, but our better chance of rain will come during the afternoon. Increased moisture in advance of this approaching front, plus a southerly flow in advance of the system, will make our showers and thunderstorms grow in coverage today after lunchtime, and that will lead to a soggy evening commute. So travel weather likely to be impacted for the second half of the day due to rain locally. Elsewhere in the nation, when we talk about our national picture, there are some showers over the northern Great Lakes and upper Midwest where much cooler weather has been hanging on. Out west, it's still the heat, triple digits on the way for Vegas and for Phoenix, but the heat is not going to be as bad across southeast due to some rain in the area, including New Orleans and Jacksonville. If you have Monday morning travel plans off to one of these major hubs, good news, we're not finding any weather-related travel delays. So for today, 92 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers and storms for the afternoon. Some of that rain may be heavy continuing into the evening hours. Tomorrow we get into a chance for rain tomorrow during the afternoon. 90 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast and tropical update coming up next. I'll see you with that at 5:51, David.
All righty. Thank you so much, Maureen. Tebow Mania is coming to Central Florida, where you'll soon be able to watch the former Florida football star Tim Tebow play minor league baseball. That's coming up next. We will be right back.
You're watching Central Florida's only 24-hour news channel, News 13. News, weather, now. Exclusively on Spectrum. Love it. Hate it. Or just, whoa. Connect with News 13 on Facebook.
If you want to play an important role in your company and make an impact on your career, join the Spectrum team today. As a field technician for Spectrum, you'll represent the nation's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice company and help bring Spectrum services to the communities we serve. We offer a competitive salary, comprehensive benefits, complimentary services, and education reimbursement. Interested? Go to jobs.spectrum.com to see what's available in your area and apply today.
This is our summer vacation. These are our roller coasters. This is how we cool off. And this is the Acura RDX. Hurry to the Acura Summer Performance event for some of the most exciting offers of the year.
Lease the 2017 RDX for $299 a month for well-qualified customers. Visit your local Acura dealer today.
So you've decided? He just does whatever he wants. He's not going to change. I'm done.
It's scary, right?
Of course. He controls everything. He has all the money and well, he'll use it like a weapon. You know him.
Yeah. Call them. That's your first step.
When you're done, that's when we begin. I'm Lawrence Collins of the Tate Law Firm. Give us a call.
This is great. Both of us camping. I feel like a cub again.
You thought of everything. The tent, the campfire, the marshmallows, a couch. Living room camping is not exactly roughing it.
Bears don't sleep in the woods, you know.
Actually, yes. Yes, they do.
Why sweat outdoors when you can relax indoors? One Stop Cooling and Heating knows a comfortable home is a bare necessity. So if your AC goes out, call One Stop Cooling and Heating immediately. Proud provider of Goodman.
Careful, honey. You're flammable.
Oh.
News 13 is brought to you by Budget You Pull It. Save money on used auto parts at budgetyoupullit.com.
The Tim Tebow Baseball Show is coming to Kissimmee. The Mets promoted Tebow to St. Lucie in the Florida State League, meaning the former Heisman Trophy winner is scheduled to play at Osceola County Stadium in late July. Great finish on the PGA Tour Sunday at the Travelers Championship in Connecticut. Jordan Spieth and Daniel Berger in a playoff. First extra hole, Spieth from the bunker. He holes it for the win. 10th PGA Tour victory for Spieth. He and Tiger, the only players with double-digit wins before their 24th birthday. NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series at the road course in Sonoma, California. Danica Patrick slams into her boyfriend, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The crash would end his day. California native Kevin Harvick takes the checkered flag under caution for his first win of the year. Next up for NASCAR is the Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. I'm Austin Lyon, and that's your Toyota Sports Minute on News 13.
Our county-by-county coverage continues in Osceola County, where volunteers are getting ready to move 30 big cats from Cocoa to St. Cloud. The Central Florida Animal Reserve takes care of felines that were confiscated by FWC or turned in by their owners who didn't want to take care of them anymore. The move from Cocoa to St. Cloud will make the reserve 6 times bigger. The nonprofit is still fighting to reach a goal of $25,000 for the move. Now, the cats are expected to move to St. Cloud by the end of the summer. And neighbors in one part of Lake County are under a boil water notice. Groveland City leaders say to boil water before brushing your teeth, cleaning, or cooking. No word on what actually caused the notice, but it requires residents to boil water for the next 24 to 48 hours. To see all of the areas in Groveland affected, head over to our website at mynews13.com. Florida leads the nation in the number of people killed by lightning strikes. Lightning killed 52 people in Florida since January 2007. That's the most in the country, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Texas came in second with 21 deaths during that same time period.
Central Florida had its share of showers and thunderstorms over the weekend, and as the new work week begins, we're in for more rain and storms. I'll explain coming up in your Weather on the Ones.
Faster warnings, accurate forecasts. Storm Tracker 13, part of the largest Doppler radar network in the Southeast. Only on News 13, exclusively on Spectrum. When you're on the go, watch News 13 anywhere with the Spectrum TV app. Get live breaking news,
Standoff in East Orlando.
local stories,
Firefighters from Oviedo.
and your Weather on the Ones forecast.
Showers expected.
Wherever you are, go to mynews13.com/watch live. Download the Spectrum TV app and watch News 13 instantly on your device. The Spectrum TV app is free to Spectrum customers. Enjoy TV on your terms with the Spectrum TV app, exclusively from Spectrum.
Relaxing, efficient, gentle care. That's Windermere Dental Group. We believe your visit to the dentist can be enjoyable. Using the latest technologies allows us to do most restorations in one day, including same-day computerized crowns. We offer a wide array of treatments, including cosmetic dentistry, implants, orthodontics, Invisalign, and family and pediatric dentistry. And for a limited time, get your new patient exam and x-rays for only $50. Windermere Dental Group. Let us give you the smile you deserve.
What was that?
See? I am a typical safe driver.
Of course you are.
Come on, Overchuck. What about us? We're safe riders too, but it's like we're invisible. Ugh. Exactly. ¿Usted lo puede creer? No lo puedo creer, but they keep cutting me off. Ay, Dios mío.
So if you're involved in an auto accident or a motorcycle accident, call the Overchuck Law Firm. Hey there, Chuck, what are you doing here?
Is that Chuck?
I'm John Overchuck, and I'll be there personally to handle your case.
Come on, honey, I got this.
We care enough to come to you.
At Central Florida Chrysler Jeep Dodge, get $10,000 off every Ram truck in stock. That's right, $10,000 off. Every color, every option in stock every day. Get up to $10,000 guaranteed minimum on any trade. Yes, $10,000 guaranteed for your trade. Every purchase is backed by our exclusive low price protection guarantee. I'm Sarah. Our staff, friendly and knowledgeable, are expected to provide you the very best experience. Visit us online at cfchrysler.com or in person, John Young Parkway, Sand Lake Road, Orlando.
When you're on the go, watch News 13 anywhere with the Spectrum TV app. Download now and watch News 13 instantly on your device. This is a Storm Tracker 13 Tropical Update.
Tropical update time here with your Weather on the Ones, as we always do at 51 minutes past the hour. It is much quieter in the Atlantic Basin this morning compared to last week when we were monitoring two named systems. So we have now checked off Brett and Cindy. Dawn would be next, followed by Emily. Hopefully we don't hear from them, certainly here in Florida. But that's the Tropical Update is for, to always keep you posted here once an hour on the latest developments, both in the Atlantic and also with the Pacific. Now, we're rounding out the month of June. Typically, we turn to the Gulf and the Northwestern Caribbean for early development. When we transition to July, that breeding ground expands and includes a greater area over the Atlantic Basin. The more favored spots for development, not only the Gulf, but also the Western Atlantic and the Central Atlantic, with storm motion typically to the northwest, and oftentimes those storms can impact Florida, which is why we got to watch Storm Tracker 13 very closely. Now, the one system that we have on Storm Tracker 13 is technically in the Pacific. This is Dora, moving away from Mexico, now a hurricane, but everything else across the Caribbean. Gulf of Mexico is quiet. Same with these waves moving westward across the Atlantic. They just don't seem to be materializing or spinning up into a tropical cyclone, so we are not expecting any new development, at least for the next 2 to 5 days. Now, locally, it's tropical moisture playing a role in our Monday weather. We have this dying out front to the north of us, ample moisture to the south, and that's going to fuel our numerous areas of rain and storms for the next several days. We can watch that happen on Storm Tracker 13. There's that deep source of moisture blanketing the peninsula, and it doesn't really go anywhere through the middle to latter part of the week. So as long as we have this type of air mass in place, it will give rise to showers and thunderstorms. Some of them may contain some torrential rain. Now for your Monday, rainfall amounts estimated or projected by Storm Tracker 13 may be between a ½ inch to an inch or more. Just shows how much moisture is available, and that could translate to precipitation and this much in the rain gauges. Not everyone's going to see these exact numbers, but just gives an indication of what we could be in for today. Pushing this through to tomorrow, even greater rain chances with more moisture. You can tell the further north you go, the rain chances will be a little bit greater. So be prepared for some very heavy rain in the coming days, including today. It'll still be very warm and muggy, reaching 90 or above for much of the I-4 corridor. Tonight, evening showers and thunderstorms will fade out. On Tuesday, we will return to either side of 90 degrees with more clouds and more rain and storms. Rain chances will be elevated all week long. Temperatures won't stray too far from the seasonal average. Now, if you're here on vacation, you're seeing these high rain chances every day, just keep in mind you want to get out early before the rain develops. We'll have more in less than 10 minutes. Over to Ryan now for traffic. And here's a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Monday morning, 5:54 your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. Wanted to give you a quick update regarding your major roadways. We're still looking at a lot of green out there. That should be the case this time in the morning, really. The closer we get to 7 o'clock, that's when we should start to see delays creeping into the picture. Right now, we're tracking a wreck along the beach line westbound, 2 miles west of State Road 520. Not really seeing a delay there any longer. It's off at the shoulder. Still a little bit of road work ongoing along the beach line here. And on that westbound side, we're actually seeing a small pocket of delays, it looks like, approaching that Universal Boulevard, Orangewood Boulevard exit and around John Young Parkway. Still some construction wrapping up in this area there as well. Wanted to give you a quick update on your overall travel time so far, about 14 minutes from Lake Mary all the way through downtown Orlando along I-4 traveling westbound. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Once a week, a local single mom packs up her kids and heads to church. But along the way, she picks up nearly a half a dozen other young people from across Central Florida in an effort to keep teens out of trouble on the weekends. News 13's Bailey Myers introduces us to today's everyday hero.
On a good day, these seats, they're all filled up.
Every Sunday morning, Samantha Green packs her car with teens.
Seatbelt.
For 2 years now, Green, a local nurse who works at the Juvenile Detention Center in Orange County, has been trying to help young people who grow up in a more troubled part of the community, and she says it's become her passion.
For one day out of the week, they are occupied with positive things versus, having to make adult decisions as a child.
Although it's a tight fit, all the students she picks up on the weekends say they look forward to their time with the nurse who has become their mentor.
It's just strange to think that there would be a person who would help you in not a negative way or want to see you fail. If anything, she wants to always see us succeed in what we do.
Green says watching their personal growth makes it all worth it, and she hopes more people take a turn to walk in her shoes.
To be that one caring adult that a child might need to be able to succeed, even if you only reach one, it'll still be worth it.
Samantha Green, everyday hero. Reporting in Orange County, I'm Bailey Myers, News 13.
Time now for a look at what's happening in our community, sponsored by Todd Minor Law.
Florida's climate and explore the science behind the weather. Go to mynews13.com/projectweather.
The biggest summer blockbuster is at Orlando Kia. Right now, you can drive home your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments for 5 months, plus get 0% financing. Stylish new 2017 Kia Fortes, $99 per month. Only at Orlando Kia.
Jim waited his whole life to buy this car, and thanks to Orlando Federal Credit Union, his dream came true. You see, the dealership made it easy to drive away in the car he wanted, but the financing, not so great. Orlando Federal Credit Union helped Jim refinance his car, and for $50 less a month. So now Jim has a little extra gas money to take his best girl out for a joyride. Apply today. Orlando Federal Credit Union. Because you're more than just money to us.
This is Holly. Your typical safe driver, totally aware of her surroundings.
OMG, this is so much fun. Do you hear that? Let's see.
If you live in Orlando, you've probably seen her on the road before. So if your luck runs out and you're in an automobile accident, call the Overchuck Law Firm. And I'll be there personally to handle your case.
Did I pass?
We care enough to come to you.
Relaxing, efficient, gentle care. That's Windermere Dental Group. We believe your visit to the dentist can be enjoyable. Using the latest technologies allows us to do most restorations in one day, including same-day computerized crowns. We offer a wide array of treatments, including cosmetic dentistry, implants, orthodontics, Invisalign, and family and pediatric dentistry. And for a limited time, get your new patient exam and x-rays for only $50. Windermere Dental Group. Let us give you the smile you deserve.
The biggest summer blockbuster is at Orlando Kia. Right now, you can drive home your new Kia with 0 down, 0 payments for 5 months, plus get 0% financing. New 2017 Kia Sorento SUVs are only $189 per month. Only at Orlando Kia.
Local forecast is brought